Welcome back to Ferocious Education, this is Ed. Today, I'm going to be giving another update on United Wholesale Mortgage, going with the ticker UWMC. So without further ado, let's jump right into this one. Starting off with a little bit of the latest news and what we know about this one here. So the last thing that came around was the first quarter of 2021 results, where did really surprise some people while others saw it as a bit of a downside. Overall, I did cover it in my last video, and I do think that they did really deliver into some of their promises. Now, a quick thing that I do want to cover today really comes in towards their strategy. So our principal strategy that has driven our substantial growth over the past years is our strategic decision to operate solely as a wholesale mortgage lender, thereby avoiding conflict with our partners, dependent mortgage advisors, and their direct relationships with borrowers. We believe that by not competing for the borrower connection and relationships, we are able to generate significantly higher loyalty and satisfaction from our clients. In other words, independent mortgage advisors, who in turn, armed with our partnership tools, are positioned to direct a growing share of the residential mortgage volume nationwide. The residential mortgage loan financing process typically involves 3 stages: initiate borrower connection, underwrite, close, and fund mortgage loans, and portfolio or package and sell mortgage loans. So to initiate borrower connection, a broker or other party is approached by a potential borrower firm for a mortgage loan. This party advises the borrower on the loan option, runs an initial credit check, and gathers borrower's information. And then the underwriter, or the close and fund, which is the person or the mortgage loan is underwritten there, the borrower is approved, and the closing is arranged, and the loan is funded. Portfolio and package and sell mortgage loan into secondary market sell. Well, I think that basically speaks for itself, where they sell these kind of mortgages in together in a portfolio, packed together, and sold into the market. And so we refer, in comparison, that the wholesale mortgage lender is a lender that originates, underwrites, and closes a mortgage, all by UWM and by independent mortgage advisors. So they operate exclusively as a wholesale mortgage lender and focus only on the wholesale channel so that we can be true partners to our clients. We do not work directly with borrowers during the mortgage loan financing processes. Now, there is kind of currently a lawsuit for an anti-competition clause, even though basically in the sense from what I've seen previously in history and from what I'm hearing from them is that lawsuit is nothing but BS. Excuse my language there. Now, other things to take a look at is the price over book and the price over sales of UWM. Now, the price over book here is around 86 cents. And if we were to go towards the SP 500, that is sitting almost at 448. And this shows one thing, is that the UWMC is almost 5 times cheaper when it comes into price over book than the SP 500. Now, price over sales is 267. Currently, in the SP 500 is around 305, so there is some room to grow there to the 305 level. Now, the next thing I do want to cover is the Russell inclusion. I do think that the Russell inclusion there will be a no-brainer, because already by May 7th, that is the ranking that they're going with. And even then, now with the buybacks, that should be completely fine from my understanding. And I will be contacting as well their investor relations to a little bit understand better regarding that percentages with the buyback. But previously, when I talked to them, they were very much understanding about these regulations and rules, and they made sure that they are fit and qualified for things like Russell. And another thing here that you're looking at is the next June transition month. So here on, June is the month that the preliminary reconstruction portfolio is communicated to the marketplace. Beginning on June 4th, the preliminary lists are communicated to the marketplace, and updates are provided on June 11th, 18th, and 25th. The newly reconstructed indexes take effect after the market close on June 25th. So I do believe either on the 4th or the 11th, we will have a bit of a news there on whether UWMC will be added to Russell or not. And before moving on towards institutional buyers, please make sure you drop a like to this video because it helps me a lot, and subscribe and leave notifications on. Now, another thing here from what you're seeing is that the institutional buyers seem to be a lot more bullish than bearish. Now, given that Waste Strategic Interval Fund decreased their shares by 342,000 shares on Friday, but take a look into Citadel Advisors, they increased their position by 55.64%. Ferocious Capital added 224,000 shares, and the list keeps going down. If you scroll down, the list itself keeps growing. Goldman Sachs Group added a put on there, so that's a bit bearish, but that is as well part of hedging their previous positions. Now, institutional buyers in general are a bit mixed. There's bullish, there's bearish, some are adding, some are disposing of shares, and so it is the usual, but in the month of May, there is a lot of activity on this one that is seen before. So let's move on now towards technical analysis. From a technical analysis point of view, what we're seeing is that they're all above, the price point is all above the moving averages, which is pretty good. Specifically towards the 50 SMA, which is at 791, the price point is currently above there. The ADX is a little bit picking up around 1639 from lowers before, almost at 15s and 12s and 11s, which indicates more of a strength in that movement. Now, we did receive the first red candle in the day, which is a bearish kicker in a while. However, it is more of an accumulation phase here above the 791s and the higher 7 levels. Now, the current willing %R does show it's tending towards a bit more neutral, but a bit overbought. And the MACD here is actually stabilizing on the positive side. Momentum is at 0.27. Now, stochastic fast and stochastic slow both are telling you to be careful to where the next support is. And the moving averages says that this one is expected to trade between 858 and 702 in the bottom. So these are kind of shells where you can start expecting for it to trade within that range. And the next thing here is Fibonacci retracements sitting at the top from 1245, going all the way down to 625. We see significant support level is at 771 by the Fibonacci retracements, and resistances at 862, 935, 1008, 1112, and 1245. Now, on a price line action, we're seeing significant support level and a very strong one, currently at the 799. Below there, you're looking down at 780, 753, then going down to 723, then a little bit further down to around the 692, 674, and then the 660. Significant resistances, a very strong one exists around the 842, following by that 866, 905, going towards the 951, 1007, 1090, and then 1170, and then following that 1236. Comes to the question to Ed, what do you think about this one? For me, myself, I have gone through a strategy, and this is exactly what I'm doing, and it's just based on my own opinion about this one. I added the UWMC and I doubled down a little bit below, I think around the 6s or the 7s, and I myself am not willing to sell until it comes in towards the longer term. Remember, before I did mention that I bought in this around section and that I didn't sell around 1245. I'm still holding for one reason. I do believe in the stock longer term. However, I do also think in the shorter term, we might see a really nice push. And for that, I did pick some options up just to cover a little bit on the negative interest that otherwise I would get somewhere else. But in a sense, I do think that this stock in the next 2 years will really prosper. Specifically as well, when I went back and talked towards their investor relations, I do think that they have a lot of potential there. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I do recommend that you go ahead and join our Discord server. There's a lot of amazing folks in here. We do a lot of discussions here into the trading floor throughout the day. A lot of people are in there, and we do ask questions. You can ask me any question you would like on there. We do post research and DDs, and we hold weekly chat sessions. And we also do have a lounge in there. So make sure to actually join that and join the fun there. Have a wonderful day and a good one.